Hello, this is Adam from Inflectra. Thanks for joining today's webinar, which will be discussing how to manage your help desk with KronoDesk 2.1. In today's webinar, we're going to be covering the following topics. Firstly, an overview of what KronoDesk does, covering the knowledge base, the forums, and the help desk. And then we'll be going into some of the functionality that was in existing versions of KronoDesk for people who haven't seen it before. And we'll be talking about how you create a new help desk ticket and how a customer support agent can respond to the ticket. After that, we're going to be illustrating some of the new functionality in version 2.1. In that new version, we have support for organizations where you can group tickets together, and also digital signatures for customers in the healthcare and life sciences field, where you have to be able to sign off certain tickets. And at the end, we'll have time for Q&A. And this session is being recorded, so if you are listening to this after the fact, unfortunately you won't have time for Q&A, but feel free to write a comment on the video and we can make that a future webinar. So this is KronoDesk right here. And for those who've not seen it before, KronoDesk has three main areas. It has a knowledge base, forums, and a help desk. So first of all, let's sign in. So I'm going to sign in with one of our sample users, Kathy Customer. And if you sign up for a trial version, you can use these same logins yourself. The password is please change, capital P, capital C. Excellent. So I'm logged in as Kathy. And when Kathy comes into the system, she needs help with a problem. And so she has three opportunities. First of all, she can search the knowledge base to try and find an answer to her problem. She can also just browse the knowledge base directly using the knowledge base menu item. And there are many articles in the system on different topics that could help her. If that doesn't work, she could also browse the forums. And the forums are a place where different customers and users can come together and write questions and help each other out and build a community. And then the subject for today's forum is going to be the help desk. And that's where Kathy would log a help desk ticket. So when Kathy first comes into the system, on the home page, she can actually see a list of all the tickets that she has open already. And in this case, there's 6 or so tickets that she's already logged. So she could click on one of these and make sure that there's not something waiting for her to act on. But in this case, let's go ahead and log a new ticket, because Kathy has a problem that she needs help with. So to do that, she's going to click on the Open Ticket link in the top left, and that brings up the new ticket screen. So what's Kathy's problem? Well, Kathy has a problem logging in. Please help. I cannot log into the system. Now, underneath, the system is actually going to check to see maybe the knowledge base does contain some information that could help her. So she could even see right here, are there any links in this list that could actually help me out? And that way, before logging the ticket, she can make sure she doesn't have to wait for the ticket to be responded. The answer might already be written for her. In this case, though, this is an issue that hasn't been written about. So she's going to log a new ticket and carry on. So when I tried to log in to the application, it says that my account is not recognized. And we've all been there, where we can't try and log into a system and we can't actually use it. Okay, so let's look next. So now I've got to choose my product, and there are 3 different applications that Kathy has access to. So to help the help desk out, she can choose which application. It's the book system, and it's a support ticket. And we've asked her to provide the operating system, which is, say, Windows Server, and the browser, which is, let's say, Firefox. Everything else is optional. She can also attach an image or paste in a screenshot. When she's happy with her submission, she just hits the submit button, and that will log the new help desk ticket. And you go back to the ticket list, and she will now see there's her ticket. She can also go back to the home page, and she'll see her ticket there listed also. So that way she knows it's being tracked in the system, and she'll see any updates made to it. If you hover the mouse over, you get a tooltip so you can see the latest information for each ticket. Great. So that's Kathy. What we'll do now is we're going to log out, and we're going to log in instead with a different user. So we'll log in with Eric, who's an employee. And Eric's a customer service agent. Password is also please change, like that. So we're logged in now. And when Eric goes to his homepage, he's actually going to go to the internal employee homepage, which looks a bit different. This homepage is designed for the internal customer support agents. So that will show everyone in the team all of their assigned tickets. These are the ones that have already been assigned to the person. And it will show also the unassigned tickets, the ones that have come in that haven't yet been assigned to a customer service agent. And KronoDesk is flexible. You can set it up so that each of the tickets has to be assigned by a customer service agent manager, or you can have it where customer service agents can simply choose their own tickets. So in this case, let me go ahead and take the ticket. So if I go into it, this is the one here, please help. He wants to be responsive, and he's going to take this ticket. So it's from Kathy. It's about the book inventory system, and it was logged just now. And so what this would happen is typically I want to assign this to myself. So I choose assigned, and I can assign it to me. I can also assign it to one of the other users, depending on the permissions in the system. Hit save. When I hit the save button, it is sending an email back to Kathy. So Kathy will know that it's been assigned to Eric. And Eric could, for example, now either, for example, propose a solution or maybe request more information. Maybe if it's a duplicate or it's not reproducible, he could send that back also. So let's, in this case, ask for more information. So, hi Kathy, my name is Eric. I'm here to help you. Please, can you provide some more information? You can use the bullets or other formatting as well to make the email a little clearer. What login name did you use? Did you remove any leading spaces? Maybe Eric knows there's a problem with that. Thanks. Eric. So that gets sent back now to Kathy. So if we log out, and we'll sign back in as Kathy customer. She'll see her tickets right here. Click on it, and she can see in the tooltip there's a note as well. And now Kathy will read this, and she can then provide information by returning it to support. Excellent. So, hi Eric, thanks for the help. I used the login Kathy123, and I did check for spaces. Thanks. So Kathy's replying back and moving it back to Eric. Excellent. And now, in real life, what Eric will do is log in. So let's log out again. And log back in. There's Eric, employee. We could also use two different browsers as well if we wanted to not to keep logging in and out. So we'll log back in as Eric. Eric goes to his employee homepage, and he'll see under the assigned tickets this time, the one from Kathy. And we can sort it by the time as well, so we can get the most recent ones. Now, we have another feature which is really handy called the internal note, because sometimes maybe Eric doesn't understand what's going on. He wants to hand the ticket to someone else. So what he could do is add an internal note, and he could add, for example, let's say he's going to give it to someone else. So I'm going to reassign it to Martha Manager, his manager. And you could write something like, Martha, I asked the basic questions. She seems to be using the correct login. Maybe her account is locked out. And the internal notes are good because those are ones that you can share amongst support agents, and they're not seen by the end user. So that way we can discuss things that we don't necessarily want Kathy to see because it might confuse her, or maybe we are not sure if she's actually doing what we're telling her to do. Any kind of communication that you want between your support staff, you can store as internal notes. And those notes are flagged in a different color in red, so it's clear they're not for the end user's perspective. And so that's what we could do. And then Martha can log in. So we'll log out and log in as Martha Manager. and Martha can then hopefully solve the issue. So let's go ahead and do that. Martha Manager, also please change, for those who are trying this out themselves. Okay, so we're now logged in as Martha Manager. Go to the home page. Under the assigned incidents, you'll see right here that is my ticket. Excellent. And let's go ahead and parse this back. So we'll say solution. Hi, Kathy. Let's pretend she was logged out. Hi, Kathy. Thanks for checking that. Your account was logged out. Please try again. Thanks. Martha. So we've sent it back to Kathy again, this time from Martha. So we'll sign out. And we'll sign back in as Kathy. And so Kathy logs in. And open tickets, there it is. Please help. Notice that the red internal note is not visible. And let's say it worked. So I'm going to close the ticket. And Kathy will write back going, hi Martha and Eric. Thanks for the awesome support. That was it. I can now log in again. Perfect. So hopefully all support issues can be handled just as easily as this, and we've closed a ticket. And that is a typical life cycle of a customer support ticket in KronoDesk. So that's the functionality that's in version 2, which is the current live version, and the version that's coming out in a few weeks' time is version 2.1. And so we've got a couple of new features for the help desk that I want to talk about. So to show you those new features, I'm actually going to log out and log in as the administrator user. So let's log in as the admin. And the first thing we want to talk about is the support for organizations. And the reason we have organizations is, let's say that Kathy and two of her colleagues all work for the same customer, and they're going to log support tickets. In many help desk systems, each of them will have their own account because they want to track their own tickets. But sometimes the person who logged the first ticket might go on vacation or might leave the company, or maybe there's a team working on the problem together and they want to see each other's tickets. But obviously you still want only the tickets of people in the same company to see each other's tickets. And so we added the concept of an organization. And so what you can do, and you don't have to do this, you can still have individual users that aren't part of an organization, but you do now have the option of going into the user section, so into administration, users, view edit organizations, and you can create custom organizations. These are not for the internal users, these are for the actual users being supported. So Kathy, who logged the ticket, she could be, for example, part of Initech, made famous in Office Space, and in fact Kathy is a member, and so Charles is also a customer. So Charles and Kathy work together in the same organization, and so if Kathy logs a ticket, it's quite possible that Charles will want to also see that ticket, maybe because he wants to see what Kathy's doing, make sure she's actually working on it appropriately, and also maybe Charles has information that Kathy doesn't have that will be useful. So what you'll do is you create organizations, and to help the support agents know who they're dealing with, you also can create information about the company, its name, its address, where it's located. And that's because in the future we'll be adding support to tie this into your CRM system so that you can track which level of support the customer has, what SLAs they have. So this will all feed into the SLA management that's coming in the future. And what it will do is it will let you track organizations, track all their information, and then see all the users that belong to it. And they can have different roles. And there are three major roles. There's a member, a supervisor, and a manager. And that will determine if you can just log a ticket, or whether you can see other people's tickets in the group, or if you can actually add and remove users. So those are the three different levels we have. And so once you set up an organization, the customer support agent can benefit also, because when they get a help desk ticket, so if we go back to the help desk tickets, if we look at that one we logged, which was, actually that one's closed. So let's just choose a different one. This is one we've logged before, the test ticket. It's also from Kathy. You'll notice now there's a drop down. You can actually move this ticket between any member of the organization. So I could, for example, move it from Kathy to Charles. Perhaps Kathy's on vacation for a week and Charles asks us to reassign it. He can do it or we can do it. Also, if I, as the customer support agent, or if Kathy or Charles, depending on their permissions, wants to, they can click on this link, and now that will show them the organization. It shows them all the users in the organization, and it shows you all the tickets. So that way, Charles can come in here and see all the tickets that he's logged or Kathy's logged. He doesn't have to log in or log out as Kathy's account, which he would do in the current version. So this makes it much easier to manage larger clients which have different users logging tickets, but they still need to all see each other's tickets and work together. So that's the first new feature. And the second thing we've added, which is a really interesting feature, is digital signatures. And digital signatures are used by customers that need to be able to have specific sign-off. So for example, if we go back into our ticketing system, under the help desk, under workflows, you have the ability to manage the life cycle of a ticket. And this was already in the system, so we can click on the steps, and you've seen this before, but we've added some new functionality into this for digital signatures. So let's say we look at that ticket that was originally assigned to someone, and it was proposed as a solution, and then it's closed. So let's find the case when it's been waiting on the customer, and the customer's going to close it. Well, we want the customer to sign that they've closed it. They don't just change the status, they actually have to sign that they made the change to close it, because that's required by our contract. So what we'll do is we'll find this transition, which is moving from waiting on customer to closed, and we can now insist that they sign it. To do that, all we do is change this require electronic signature from no to yes. Hit save. It's that easy. Okay, so now what we'll do is if we were to go back into the help desk system, and let's find a ticket that's waiting on customer, or if there isn't one, let's just move it to that status. So we'll move this from assigned to waiting on customer, which is a proposed solution, waiting on customer. Hit save. Oh, need to add a note. So add a quick note to it. Okay, and now the next status is to close it. Now you'll notice this little padlock, which is new. When you add a digital signature option, it adds a padlock, so the user knows it's going to require a signature. So we hit close, and we hit save, and now it pops up this box and it asks us to re-authenticate. That way it requires us to prove who we are. So we're the administrator, so we'll log in, please change. And this is the meaning. This is the meaning of the signature, meaning I am confirming that this is closed. You can change the meaning in the text of it, we can leave it as is. It's fine as is, so I hit sign, and that now means I am signing it. I am signing that change as an authorized change. And when you do a sign change, it also will track in the history that it was a sign change as well, and it will actually force the signature to be checked. So that way, when it's signed, you can actually make sure that the person who did make the change had the permissions to do it. If someone was to tamper with that signature, it will actually flag it as a tampered with change and mark the signature as invalid as well. So that way, it prevents someone changing the data behind the scenes and invalidating the signature. And this is very similar to users of our Spira test or Spira team system, where we've already had digital signatures for a while. So thanks for attending today's webinar. For those listening to the recording, that's the end of the webinar. We will now be taking Q&A.